we'll have to zoom this out.
Here with Stephen Buonocore, I'm like, I hear things going on. I'm like, not sure what's happening, but I think I see Lincoln behind there. There's a pile of games, and I
know
have
what he's
Beth
doing.
here as well.
There we go.
He's doing a
We're Buonocoring, yeah.
Hey, look at that. That's awesome.
I see Nikki in there too. And
we
we just got to talk to Buonocore.
We were doing it sans camera, so we were like doing the best we could, but we tried to get, there's some early ones in here too. There's like, Survive, like one of the first, if not the first, wasn't it?
Well, isn't that when you met him?
Yes.
Survive?
In 2010.
That's probably when we met, if we're gonna. By the way, hello everybody. Hi,
Yes.
out there in BGG TV land. Hi Beth. Hi Steph. Hi Ling.
Hi, and yeah, my name is Beth Hiley, and I will be mostly just kind of chilling in this call, but I will be monitoring the chat. So if anyone who's watching this has any questions for Lincoln, Nikki, Steph, myself, or Steven, particularly Steven being our guest for this next half hour, then please make sure to write that in the comments in Twitch, and I will pass that along to the team.
So to take that first question there, sort of, that the first 3 games from Stronghold Games, which the whole idea was initially was to bring back games that were highly in demand. Old games, they've gone out of print. Gamers had a demand for it. Smart people
Grail
were using
games.
BoardGameGeek to see what the people wanted, right? I mean, I was looking and saying like, oh, look at that. 6,000 people want another copy of Survive and they can't get it. So we went out and we got Code 777 was actually the first one that came out. Company started in 2009. We had that out by mid 2010. And then for Essen 2010, we had Survive and we had the prototype for Confusion, Espionage and Deception in the Cold War, which was also a reprint, but a much lesser known one that was only released in Germany. So that was the start. And the end for me is it's coming to an end. The journey is ending.
So it hasn't ended yet.
Technically not. I still have, what is it, seven more days as president of Stronghold Games. And then literally at that point, I won't be working for the company, but I will be, as soon as we're able to, I will still be going to conventions because I'm just going to go back to being me. I'm going to go back to being me, go to conventions to game, and relax with everybody out there. I mean, I'm going to see you guys. I mean, I have a whole convention family that I still want to see. So I'm hopeful. I'm one of the few people that are like, optimistic. I know there's a lot of pessimistic people, but I'm optimistic that 2021 will be a close to normal convention season. Will it?
We all are.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But
We're
again,
hopeful.
another thing I want to mention too, that in the
5
press release that we
years.
put out. What was that? What was that stuff?
I was going to say, and then in 5 years, you'll have a new company. You started.
No. So the press release was pretty clear about what I'm going to do in retirement, and I can even extend it a little bit. So, I mean, retirement to me means I'm retiring from board game publishing. I'm not going back to starting a company. No, I mean, that would be completely disingenuous, and it would not be appropriate to the company that I'm leaving. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So what I'm going to continue doing is stay on the media side of hobby gaming. I'm going to continue Board Games Insider. I mean, it's one of the most popular board gaming podcasts out there, and I think Ignacy, president of Portal Games, and myself, I think we bring something, to the table that other podcasts don't. We're both insiders to the industry, running companies, either current and going on or former. But we can also comment on the industry. We can comment on the direction things are going on, and we have a great rapport. So we just have a good time doing it. So that's the primary thing that people will still be able to see me doing. And I do plan on doing other things in media. The Dice Towers already asked me to do some things. We haven't officially announced anything. Maybe BoardGameGeek can ask me to do some things with them. We'll see. I mean, I would love to.
The invitation is open to come out here for game night once we can have you over.
Once I'm allowed to fly, I'm there. I'm there. Of course, you would never have me when,
That's not true. You told me
show the games with you.
You told me you wanted to meet Deborah, and I'm like, just get out to LA and it'll happen.
I don't know that I could. I don't know that I can handle meeting Deborah. I'm
Oh,
not
she's the
sure I'd
sweet.
be able to handle it.
She is the sweetest person, and
I would
she
be,
already
like,
told me.
drooling and like it would be kind of ugly. But yes, I'd love to meet them.
Well, we'll have to make it happen.
We have to make that happen. So yeah, once we can travel again, we'll do that. So we made a tongue. By the way, we made a little tongue-in-cheek title for this this interview, this chat: how to turn a large fortune into a small fortune. That's one of the oldest jokes in on the gaming side of business.
Yes.
How do you make a small fortune in gaming?
Pull 'em down.
Start out with a large fortune, right? If you have a game store or a publisher or all these things, traditionally it has not been a particularly profitable thing, or you're not going to really make a lot of money. But I'd like to
It's
go
passion.
on
It's
record as
passion.
saying, I'd like to go on record
Mr.
as saying Stronghold Games
Buonocore-
was very successful. And
Mr. Buonocore,
I'm
tear
not
down this
retiring.
wall.
I'm not retiring penniless. Let's put it that way.
You were
I make a
actually
joke.
Lincoln and Nikki was reminding me of Mr. Wilson on Home Improvement.
Yeah. I was just saying, Mr. Buonocore, tear down this wall.
There you go. There we go. You tear it down. I have
We
this.
have a question. We have a question for
Okay.
you. The question is: any remakes or reprints that you wish you got but couldn't get? Daryl Andrews.
Ooh, I know one that he wanted to do.
Well, yeah, the obvious one there is that I wanted to do Merchant of Venus. We had a little kerfuffle about that between Stronghold Games and Fantasy Flight Games. By the way, I have one of my copies right here. As you can see it. Yeah, you can see it right there, Emily, right behind me. And I have another one up there that's actually signed by Richard Hamblin, which I will. It's sealed and signed by him. So that's a kind of a prize thing I have. So obviously, Fantasy Flight did it, and they did an amazing job in producing that game. We have some credit in the rule book for consulting. Not that they needed us, but it was very nice that they acknowledged the fact that we had done some work as well. But the thing that I got most out of that whole kerfuffle was my now friendship with Christian Peterson. I mean, I can call Chris right now and he'll take my call. And, we both acted like gentlemen and we both got past it all. And we realized, well, who probably has the most cards here to play? And the fact that they got their license from a conservatively $10 billion company, Hasbro, right? Hasbro owns Avalon Hill. And I got mine from the designer. Fighting this does not make any sense. So in the end, Chris and I now are great friends, and that was worth a lot to me, and just seeing what he's done and him helping me in various ways between then and now. So all good.
So would that be
other
like
one-
advice for new publishers? Like if they're new, to try and possibly gain insight from experienced publishers and help them while they help you, kind of thing? Like that's a good thing to have, right?
Yeah. My first piece of experience is stay out of court, because lawyers are very, very expensive. Very expensive. So don't do that. And of course, you should always act as gentle people. Act honorably, and talk and negotiate and get a good compromise that makes sense for all parties involved. I mean, that's like the number one thing that I think I did for Stronghold Games. I created relationships with so many people, not only the gamers, of course, right? I'm a staple at every major convention and quite a few of the minor ones. But all my relationships
I thought that would be a thorn, not a
publishers across the
staple.
world. What was that?
I said I thought that would be a thorn, not a staple. You're a thorn. You're a thorn in our side. There. Just teasing.
Thank you very much. But all the relationships that I've created with all the publishers across the world, I'd like to think that every one of those will last for quite some time, and I will see them next year and in years to come at the conventions as I attend them as a regular gamer, and we'll continue to have that. And the relationship was a business relationship, but they move into personal relationships as well. Not to mention my relationship with all guys like you and things like that. So I have like no regrets on anything. Sure, maybe if I would have gotten this game that I kind of wanted, or maybe I would have done Magic Realm, which was rumored that we were going to do for a long time. That would have been kind of cool, but that time had come and passed, a long time ago. So that will not see the light of day.
From you,
there,
anyway.
There is a follow-up to this. How do you become in a partnership with like 2F and stuff and other companies, Firex Games, and obviously you merged
Fricks.
with Indie Game Studios.
Fricks.
How did you Fricks? My apologies.
Right. You stalk them a lot at conventions and things like that until they like really have to talk to you, sit down and do things. Specifically with 2F, that's a great one. It's a great little story. With 2F, we got to go to the gathering. I got to go to the gathering fairly early on, and I met Freedom in there. Henning, his OO. And look, guys, I mean, I would just love to work with you. I mean, I know that you've got a relationship out there already with Rio Grande, but to any extent that we can work together, I would love to. Maybe there's a game on the shelf that you're not doing. Maybe we can do that. Whatever the case may be, just keep us in mind and just fostered that relationship until a time came when Rio Grande, Jay was kind of stepping back a little bit and he wasn't doing as much and he wasn't bringing out as many games, and Friedemann needed to have a strong North American publisher, basically a global English publisher as well, because they only do German in their box. It's a lot of text on their games. It's not language independent. They need a strong English language publisher behind them. And they said, well, we got this game that's kind of out there and Rio doesn't want to do it, so would you want to do it? And that was 504, and that was the first game that we did with them. And from there, moving forward, we've done every new release that they had.
Yeah. No, there's been a slew of good games recently, like the Fast Forward line and like fast slots and all these. Oh, and Find Sand, all F games, of course.
All F games. We try. We can't always do it with them, but we really try. Great guys. I mean, Friedemann and Henning are just, and you guys know them personally as well. Absolutely. I mean, they're just wonderful people to hang around with, to be part of, to have dinner with, to have a beer with. They both like beer, and
for sure.
And Friedemann likes single malt scotch, so I've shared some scotch with him. And again, it's all about relationships. It's all about creating them. And, how does a new publisher do that? Set up meetings. That's the thing. Reach out, set up meetings with publishers that you think could use a strong partner in a language that you don't have. Now, obviously, the bigger publishers out there, 2F, right? They've already got their relationships established now, so I doubt you get it. But who knows? Maybe if you're pick a Hungarian publisher, you want to do Hungarian language and you're trying to build something, they certainly might want to work with you if they don't have a partner for that language.
Nice. I think Beth had a few questions as well.
I do. I have one that's kind of technical and a little selfish on behalf of the BGG database. So and feel free to not share this information, in which case I have other questions. I use the, personally, when I'm considering geek upsets, I use the ownership data from BGG quite often. And I know that there was so much excitement about Dark Moon, which was the reworking of Battlestar Galactica that was a print and play, and then you guys picked that up. Battlestar
BSG Express, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
And the ownership is reported as quite low, even though. And so I was kind of curious, like, are you willing to share any information about like how many you made, or do you feel like it was a successful title for you guys, profitable title? Like, I'm kind of wondering. I feel like that there's a disparity between the ownership that we're seeing online versus what I feel like instinctually I think how it did.
The ownership for Dark Moon itself?
Yeah, just as reported via BGG users.
No, we've actually
kind of comparing that against like how many you actually made.
At least, we've actually printed the game at least twice. So that was not even a one and done game. A lot of games are. A lot of games you print X, and they either all sell barely, and you stop, or they don't all sell, which is a problem, right? And like, I guess we overprinted, and then you have to figure out what to do with the rest of the inventory. They end up going out to conventions and things like that for people to pick up. So for Dark Moon, I don't talk about print run sizes, but I will tell you that it was at least 2 print runs that I can remember off the top of my head, and the number was over 5,000 units in total.
So
that part I will
what that
I will
tells me is-
guarantee.
Come on, BGG users, go.
I don't know why they have not logged
reported ownership
Dark
data.
Moon. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe they log them as BSG Express. I don't know. I really have no idea. What does it say? I don't want to go flipping over to my web
No,
browser.
hang
What
on,
does it
I
say
It was
that
in the
number's
ownership?
700s, I think.
734, and then we also figured out that honestly, Eric did this research, so thank you, Eric Martin. Fist of Dragon Stones also
Fist of
has
Dragon Stones.
only 210 reported owners online, and we also felt like that was one that didn't accurately represent its success in the real world.
Well, there's the original version, right? The Days of Wonder version of Fist of Dragonstones. That and they're different entries. Their original entry
Yes.
and my entry are different
Yeah,
entries.
that's the numbers off of your entry.
Right. So that is my entry for 200, and certainly the number is a lot higher. That game didn't do as well as we had hoped. So that is a one and done game. So 200 is still not right. I mean, that's not even close.
Right,
If I
yeah.
sold 200 on that print run, that would be a problem.
sad.
That'd be a really
That
big
would be a
problem.
problem.
Hey, I have a visitor
That
here.
would be part of
Hold
the
on.
large fortune to small fortune formula. then.
Anytime
hey,
you can
I
buy.
have a visitor just came by to say hello. This is
Anytime.
Percy. In fact,
Hey, Percy.
Percy had a card. He had a promo card. It's in the BGG store. The Percy promo pack for Fist of Dragonstone. Say hi, Percy. Percy had
Just
a,
at the opportune
Percy
time.
had a
Good
doctor's
job,
visit this
Percy.
week. Oh, he was not a happy cat for a couple of days. Yeah.
My second question for you, though, is in your years now as in the game industry, what was your favorite pitch? Doesn't necessarily have to be from a designer. It could have just been a meeting that you had with another publisher or a fan that came up and said, like a moment of connection with somebody else in the board game industry. Is there a moment that stands out to you as like, oh, that was awesome?
So, but something where some business was kind of being done, I assume is what you're saying.
Just a social connection where a story was shared that touched you, like that made you feel like what you were doing was worthwhile, broader than the day to day. It made a difference in someone's life.
Battling
One of the most
over
int-
a booth
One of the most
space with
interesting
Nikki.
things- Oh, I'm sorry.
Battling
Go ahead,
battling
Sarah.
over a booth space with Nikki. Battling
Like
over a
booth
booth.
space next to Nikki all
Yeah.
the time. That's
Yeah.
absolutely the most. That was the best. She's always been next to me at BGG Con. So one of the coolest things that happened, and fans reach out for various things. Some of them want free things, but they reach out for some really, really interesting things. People have made like wedding cakes with like their favorite game on it. Sometimes it was like the box print of Survive. Terraforming Mars has been done. I posted these in various places. I probably have them in my feed. If I go back on Facebook, I can find it. But the one that was probably the coolest one of all would have been someone who reached out to me and said, I'm about to propose to my future wife, and I want to use
Hopefully.
a copy of Diamonds, and I'm going to take her diamond ring, and I'm going to put it in the box. And I was able to get him a letter that I printed out for me, and I signed the letter. I mean, he already had. Oh, and I think I sent him the copy too. He already had a copy of the game, so I sent him the copy and the letter. I said, "Yeah, take this and then just add that in there, and don't worry, it's free. It's on me. You don't pay for the game." So it was just a little touching thing, I guess you can say, that people obviously create relationships over games. Hey, more relationship stuff, but I mean like, romantic relationships, and to be a little bit part of something like that is kind of a neat thing. And some of those cakes showing like Terraforming Mars and Survive boards were pretty epic too.
I thought for sure you were gonna say. So let me just say one thing real fast. I thought for sure you're gonna say the moment I met you, because I yelled at you for not wanting to play Outpost with me. I didn't know who you were. I just saw your Stronghold logo. I'm like, will you play Outpost with me? Nobody plays Outpost with me. But we did play eventually. So
we did. We didn't play then, and I think that was at the Gathering of Friends, right?
It was.
Was it? Yeah, and then we ended up playing at a BGG con, I think. Or was it
Dice
right?
Tower
Was
Con.
that it? At a Dice Tower con.
Dice
there
Tower.
you go.
Yeah.
So it's hard to play it. Well, now it's going to be easy to play at conventions. Now it's going to be, I'm in.
Yeah.
Now you get much less no's. Oh, I can't. I got to go to the booth. Oh, I got to take a meeting. Now it's like, I want to play. Let's go.
I love
That'll be
it.
fun.
Outpost is over
Sorry,
here
Matt.
too. Where's Outpost? Outpost. Can you see Outpost? It's up there.
There it is.
Highly recommended
Pull
by
that
me.
one out. That's
Also highly recommended.
one of Steph's favorites.
Ah.
What's that?
I love it.
She said
I said
highly,
also
Beth
highly
highly.
recommended.
Yeah, we got to get the puns in.
I honestly, I've used that pun for forever. So, the last thing I just wanted to ask you about was obviously you guys have had your merger with Indie Game Studios.
Sure.
That how do you feel like that has enriched what was the core of the Stronghold brand versus the core of the Indie Game Studios brand? Like now that you guys are merging together, what strengths are you both bringing now to that partnership? What's the Stronghold flavor in this cake?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads, into like, the whole, Buonocore retiring and, making some money in the industry. And let me tell you, there was a little bit of money that might have been exchanged. I have to like
Shove it away.
It's like so much of this money over here. I'm gonna plug my
Did
little
my
Thursday
question
night.
just set you up so well for that, or were you
You
just
did. That was
waiting
great.
for that in
That
the last half
was
hour?
you didn't even know.
You're welcome.
Before I answer that, and I will answer that, but every that little background and several others I use on my Thursday night at 7 p.m. and Eastern time, and Sunday night 4 p.m. Eastern time, happy hour at the Stronghold, which soon is going to change to happy hour with the Podfather. People call me the Podfather, and I've been doing this for like throughout the entire quarantine, and I plan to continue until like the world has a semblance of normalcy again. And I invite everybody to come. If you're a friend of mine or you follow me on Facebook, either one, you can see the event that I post every week, and the link to the Zoom is in there. I can't make it a public thing because hackers. So friend me or follow me on Facebook. You'll see the event I post every week. And basically what we do is we just talk for an hour. If you want to bring a alcoholic beverage, we have a toast, or we just drink water, but we talk for an hour about how things are going in our lives. Because a lot of people are alone, and this is a really hard time for people. And we get I've had as many as 50 people, and sometimes it's on average probably about 20, 25 people, and it's just a great time. So put that in your heads. And then as far as the whole partnership, obviously money is involved with any kind of business transaction like that. And the merger set up the chain of events that leads to the retirement.
So bye-bye
This has
Buonocore?
literally been planning for 2 years. What's that?
I said to bye-bye Buonocore.
Yeah. See, this is literally in planning for over 2 years, because even like before that, I was trying to figure some things out. And then with Travis and we figured out how long. We did change the timeline a little bit over time, but this whole thing set it up. Stronghold brought together for the merger the partnerships that we made across the world, and of course Terraforming Mars, which is a phenomenal success, unbelievable success. And on the indie side, of course, they're known for smaller games, social games. So bigger games on one side of the house, smaller games for the most part on the other side of the house. So together it was a great merger, a great synergy of the two companies, two strong brands together. And of course, with their experience on running great Kickstarters, now have done over 50 Kickstarters between those two brands, plus Action Phase games that they had purchased 2 years before the merger with Stronghold. It's just been a great thing all sides. So really happy with how it's gone. I have no regrets whatsoever about any of this stuff. So if anybody thinks that like Buonocore's leaving for a reason, Buonocore's leaving to relax and spend a little of that money and things like that. I want to enjoy life. That's it. It's a lot of stress to run a publishing company.
It'll be a lot nicer to see Sydney anyway. I mean, thank you. We got to thank you for this. This is wonderful.
And Sydney,
you're doing us a favor.
He's got to be one of the smartest people on the planet. So I am honored to be handing over, at least part of the reins. Obviously, they needed two people to replace Buonocore. They needed Travis to continue the management, and they need Sydney to manage the catalog, to continue development for products under the Stronghold Games brand. Two people for one Buonocore.
Sure,
Remember that.
sure. You can tell yourself that.
This is true.
This is how I live at night.
Buonocore ate up his whole half hour.
That's good, though.
That's it.
Thank you for joining us, Stephen. Thank you for joining us.
Less. Yeah, you're amazing,
And you guys,
of course, as always.
You guys only told me about this yesterday or this morning. I found out about this. I don't know. When I did,
this morning.
Eric made a mistake in the schedule, and thankfully you were available, which was wonderful. You gave us something to do here.
Hey, I don't do anything anymore. I'm always available. Next time you see me, though,
It's
I might
true.
not be on a
Well, aren't we all
You're
at,
still
aren't we all at
working
home?
for 7 days.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so
Take
much
care.
for having me.
It's
and
good
thank
seeing you.
Everybody out there. I love you all.
Love you too. Take care, man.